I want to have it as if there was an option out there, like if there was hypothetically a slider that you had on there, and the end user, when they load up their Bitcoin Core, and they could adjust the slider and how much they want their upper turn limit to be, either not there, so it's unlimited in terms of like 1 MB, or up to say, or as low as 40 kilobytes, like the way Luke has it. Like, give the people the option to do whatever they want. Don't force things down our throat. But like I said, when I was talking about potentially doing a fork of Core and just putting that code, because this is open source, we have the ability to make changes ourselves. We're not forced to follow one particular client. We can do whatever we want. I just, there seems to be a lack of clients, so to speak, even though there's just about 10, a dozen or so. It's really just two big ones.
Yeah, no, it's only two. I mean, look at the you mentioned that the spread really there, right? The 4% is the major second player in the ecosystem. You know, now I will say that the version, I can't remember if you said this during your breakdown, the version before the most recent version also started to gain quote unquote market share against the other versions, which also tells you that even if people were not running NOTs, they were unwilling to run the newer versions of Core. As a message, no, but to see it gain strength like that, I think that was I think that was off of what you normally see in terms of the adoption pattern. That's my understanding. I've only been looking at this for the last like 3 weeks because it's been topical for the show. Otherwise, I would never look at this. But that seemed to me to be a message as well.
It's not like it's Windows where it's forcing you to download.
Yes. But by that same token, guys who are going backwards in the software,
that's a huge move.
Yeah.
That's a huge. But one thing to consider too is the newest version, and this applies to everything. It seems to lag in terms of getting adoption. Like Windows 11 when it came out, I don't even know if it has the majority of the market share for Microsoft operating systems.
I don't know.
But Windows 10 had a huge, and it just took time to slowly chop away at it. And I have no idea what it is now. But that's just always the case. It's just because the old one, people have used it, they're familiar with it, or they just don't give a fuck and don't want to update it. Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm using an older version of Core that I still have to update. This one's no longer maintained. I fucking just compiled the one that is still being maintained just this weekend. I just have to type make install to finalize this. I just been fucking busy with shit lately. But so I'm behind the curve.
Yeah. It's interesting. This is I said before last week or 2 weeks ago, can't remember when we started talking about this, but the social layer is proving itself to be a target for people who want to change Bitcoin.